Hello guys, and welcome back into another episode of the Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tours. And yeah, I was right, this is the next stop to explore of the Roman culture, and it is about the aqueducts. Let's have a look.
Welcome to Roman Aqueducts.
So we've been here in the previous episode. I was kind of exploring a bit more, and it's probably a lesson to learn. I shouldn't probably do that. I just should exclusively explore what the tour is about, not what I see in distance, because it's most likely it's gonna be later on somewhere anywhere. Anyway, so let's have a look. And certainly explore more of this, since this is all about the aqueducts. Okay, should we go in the water as well? Let's just have a look. What is this? Is it? Okay, so that's deep as well. There's some kind of cave of seems to be. Right. Some equipment. But I think we can go ahead and start the tour then. So this is where the water is coming from, I assume. And they'll make a way how to get the water up into the aqueduct.
Water management was taken seriously by the Romans. Cyrenaica benefited greatly from Roman administration with the construction of aqueducts and canals. The source of water varied depending on the location. Many aqueducts were built at the foot of the mountains, offering greater flow from the melting snow.
Fantastic, isn't it? Look at the size of the buildings, or the aqueduct itself, essentially. Something like that is not wasn't even easy, let's say, in 17th century or 18. It's a proper mission, and that's after the Renaissance happened. So to do something like that in, well, how do I jump now? I can't go up. That's why I like. Well, I shouldn't say like, it's just not good enough. I love Roman culture, because essentially, if you study yourself a bit about it, then you know as soon as Roman Empire kind of was vanquished, we can say around, let's say, 400 AC, our date, AD I should say, although it was only split in two parts, isn't it? But that's when it kind of vanished. That's when the progress in technology completely stopped for nearly 1,000 years, we can say, and only from discovering the technology later by let's say people in England, President England, that's when it started to move forward again, and also in France, etc. But yeah, so almost like a lost knowledge, and once we get it back, we start having progress again, and that was the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, later it was the Industrial Revolution. Huh, should we go up to... Let's actually have a look. I do want to explore. So this is absolutely fantastic. I do wonder what we're going to find here. It's going to be a next step for the water, and so that's going out. Obviously all of this is just made for the purpose of bringing the water down to the camp. Look at that, it's a series of caves. Oh, there's someone there. Or is he just sleeping? No, I think certainly this is some kind of cemetery. It's probably something that we're gonna see later again in Discovery Tours. Oh wait, there's no marks in here anyway, so it's maybe not. So we've seen something that's unique, and let's go back onto the tour. So the fastest way. Did we come from down there? I must have. Okay, what's up here then? Apologies, I need to go explore, and you can it's certainly going still the way we should, I'm sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but those people don't look like the Romans to me, though. Could be already someone else. Wow. Now that's a nice viewing point. Yeah, the aqueducts. Look at that. It's just fantastic. Okay, let's go back. In that case, I was wrong. Let's go just the way we came, and let's progress with the tour. And since we already seen the aqueduct last time, that's why I'm doing exploring now. Somewhere else, because we don't have to do that twice. We're just gonna go through the tour. We're gonna get some knowledge by the narrator, and that's pretty much it. You can end it there. In the meantime, we can just explore what's around and where's the water coming from. Certainly see it now. Oop. Oh, look, like it may not go through. But I guess that you can find out if you can die actually on the tour or not. I don't think so. I think we can do anything. Well, at some point I should probably test the tutorial and see if that's gonna be the case. Now, workers resting. What else do we have in here? People making tools and parts for the aqueduct. It's probably how to get it up, how to load it on the device, yeah, of course, onto the carriage and bring it up here, and that's probably using those ropes to use it as a zip line or something, I guess. But maybe for the materials as well, you can just put a basket on there and send it that way. Very interesting. Okay, so the next step is, yeah, I don't think we can die, otherwise there will be some injuries.
The ability to transport water over a greater distance increased agricultural production. Some aqueducts were reported to be over 7 kilometers in length. Where the Greeks of Libya originally focused mainly on olive trees and figs, which required less water, the advent of Roman aqueducts allowed for a far greater crop diversity. Every farm's water use was carefully scheduled.
There you go. Let's have a look at those workers here. They do a whole lot of nothing, but yeah, I'll say they just put those stones into place. It still makes the game look alive. It's probably making wheels in here, isn't it? Building those. Beautiful. Let's go down there. Is this a jumping point? Oh, I can certainly find now. Can I die? No, I can't. Okay, so we can jump pretty much from anywhere, and it will be absolutely fine.
The engineering methods used to create aqueducts were constantly reviewed, with a clear focus on exploiting the local environment. Materials, water usage, cleaning regulations, and a deep understanding of how to exploit gravity itself were all important concerns. Several fortresses were built to protect the aqueducts, basins, and cisterns.
Well, one can imagine why. I mean, something of this scale should be protected. It must be a lot of effort, researchers committed to something like that. You don't want it to be essentially unprotected. What are we making here? It looks like some pots of some sort. There is obviously a camp. It's probably, yeah, Some food around in here. And places to sleep, possibly. This is probably a planning room as well. Lots of meat. This is the storage, isn't it? Fruit granary. So next stop is about 100 meters down there. Let's go through there. He's probably making the bricks in here. I wonder, is he actually gonna make one? Let's have a look. Seems to be growing, so probably yes. Look at that. Of course the other one just vanished. Otherwise in no time there'll be many of them, but no, it's great. Applaud the developers for such details. And certainly the whole world is really alive, isn't it? I mean, the game before that was the... correct me if I'm wrong, but it must have been the one from France. What was it called? I played that one as well. I still have it too. I may want to do a video on that one. What was it? See, it just slipped my mind. I can't remember. However, that was the first game which really featured a massive crowd. No, I'm wrong. The first one I've seen ever was the game called Prototype, and I might do something on that game as well. I'm making here. We're probably making some, yeah, piles of woods, some planks. But outside of that one, I think it's still the one from Assassin's Creed and from the France, the Revolution. Can't remember what it was called. The amount of people in the city was absolutely insane, and they seem to be more alive. Like in the Prototype, you can kind of tell it's NPCs. Oh, maybe I'm just too harsh on it. No, I think Prototype was very revolutionary game. I definitely have to make a video on that one as well. But yeah, outside of that one was only the Assassin's Creed from the front, and now this one you can definitely tell. Although there's no crowds of people in here, but it looks alive anyway. It seems to be living, isn't it? This dude with the hat, he looks like the guy, like architect, a person being in charge. Is this dude actually doing something? Let's have a look. No, he's probably just scratching his head how to do something next. Let's have a look on the actual spot, what we're gonna find out.
Additional water was collected with wells and cisterns, but aqueducts were the main supply of fresh water. The water was distributed based on the collective needs of the city, before the private needs of an individual.
Which kind of makes sense. Oh, look at that. That's actual aqueduct still standing. Wow. Okay, I guess I need to go Italy at some point. I wish I had all the money and time in the world so I can do everything I want to. There's too many things to see and do. But one day I'm sure I will go. I will not go through my life without seeing it with my own eyes at least once. Since I'm traveling the world already, I may head and see that in Italy and Egypt as well, of course. I'll be late to the pyramids. I haven't been there neither, not yet. The closest I got to the Roman history was in my own home country, was Slovakia. Essentially, there's some architecture as far as that. Imagine that. I think that was as far as it gets, really.
Almost all aqueducts ended in a fountain where the water circulated to clean the streets and supply bathhouses and latrines, thus improving the cleanliness of Cyrenaica's cities.
So pretty much what I said before, what they were for. Yeah, so that's all that the tour has to offer. But let me just finish with a few exploring again. And I'm gonna finish my last tour that I was mentioning in Slovakia was the closest one. That's probably as up north as the Romans got at some point. It's pretty much the Slovakia, and I do know exact place where is the last bridge that they built in I think it was 130 our date. And there is still a plaque in there. Now this is how far the Romans got, and that's in my country. And I also saw a larger structures in when I was in Cyprus. So as you know, the Roman presence must have been there, quite big one, and there was a lot of rich people essentially, and officials living in there as well with massive villas. So that's what I saw too, and of course the place I live right now, England, you get tons of Roman history around. So I see quite a lot, but I haven't actually seen where it all began. And of course the probably most famous building of them all, the Colosseum. And I haven't seen Aqueducts neither, which I would love to. And for now, I'll say goodbye to you guys, and I'll see you on the next tour then.